So today my guest is Christiano Sampaio, a seasoned real estate entrepreneur and the founder of Loftway, one of the premier boutique brokerages and specializing in lofts and condos in Los Angeles. Cristiano has been in the industry for over 2 decades and has built a strong reputation in downtown LA for his expertise in urban living spaces. So Cristiano, before we hop in and dive deeper into the company, can you tell me a little bit more about Loftway?
So I started working for big brokerages before, back in 2003, and I was all over the place. I didn't have a niche. And so I was trying many things and they were not working out and I was basically struggling like a lot of new agents do. And then I did an open house for another agent in downtown LA at a loft. And I was like, whoa, I like this product. Everything was brand new. Downtown was coming up. So I was like, well, why don't I? And then I started exploring there was only a few lofts at the time, but there was a lot of construction happening. And I said, well, why don't I build this website and start exploring lofts downtown? At least I have like a aim. I also met someone that owned like 3 lofts. So that kind of helped me with that decision. I met a client. I had an ad in a Brazilian magazine because I'm Brazilian. And this guy was Brazilian and he owned like 3 lofts. And we had a meeting and he said, well, I want you to help me with these lofts. At the time it was for leasing, but he was also in line to buy a bunch of other ones pre-construction. So yeah, so that's how I started. So I built the website. I started working downtown, and timing was right because there was a lot of development happening and a lot of investors there. So I had a lot of new clients coming in.
Yeah, for sure. I saw that you were in the supplement industry before you joined real estate. So I kind of want to get an understanding of what turned you from, okay, I don't want to do this supplement industry anymore, and what got you into real estate.
Well, I was always into working out. I have worked out since I was very young. And in the beginning, I lived in Brazil, so I worked out there. I used to try a lot of different supplements. And then when I moved here, I opened up a supplement store inside a gym with one of my best friends. And we had this store for about a year. It's very competitive having a supplement store. There's big companies. There was some restrictions in the gym. They couldn't sell a few things here and there. So it made it harder. At the time, I met one of the people that used to sell supplements to me was also another Brazilian guy. And he worked for this big company. And we decided to join forces and start our own supplement company. The idea was, there were supplements for people that play golf, which is a niche, which is kind of what I did with Loftway.
Yeah.
And we did a niche for fighters. So we did supplements for people that do martial arts, because that's also something that I have done extensively during my life. So we started this company making supplements for people that do martial arts. And we had it for maybe 3-4 years. And it was a slow process. I think actually, when I think back, the UFC blew up right after I
Yeah.
decided to quit that. So some
Really?
companies that I used to meet at the tournaments, like Tap Out and some other companies that I used to, do tournaments with them. We used to have a lot of product samples and stuff. They blew up after that.
Wow.
I decided to leave the company, and I sold my part to my partner.
Hmm.
And then I was looking for my next thing, and I called one of my friends, and natural conversation. What are you doing? Oh, I just started real estate. It's like, oh, I always thought about real estate. There's something that I was curious about. It's like, oh, great. I'll tell you what to do and come join me. Of course, he was with Keller Williams, so he has an
Oh, yeah.
incentive to make me join. So I was with them for about 2 years and then another company. But that's kind of how I got into real estate.
Yeah, awesome. And then going to when you started Loftway back in 2007, what was the vision behind it? What were you trying to achieve when you started the business?
Well, the vision was to have a place. Technically, it was the website. The website was the main focus. I don't know if you've been to the website, but the website is kind of like a Zillow, but it's curated. So it's only the buildings that I handpick that are on the website. So it's basically all the loft buildings and the condo buildings, but it's only condo buildings that are like newer and nicer. I don't have condo buildings that are run down or old buildings. So it's a very specific. It's like if I'm looking for something, that's what I want. Like I want to see
Yeah.
the good stuff. I don't want to see all the rundown places. So I think I see myself as my clients. They want to see the same thing. I have so many compliments on their website. They'll go, it's like, I wish they had this in San Francisco. I wish they had this in New York. I just go there and I want to look at good stuff. So the idea was to service this little part of the market, because a lot of the people that do lofts too are like musicians, actors. There's a lot of this, the loft is a creative community. You live in an open space, you have to be different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Totally.
that it was this whole synergy of having this website built and wanting to cater to these people, this clientele that was looking for lofts. And then
Yeah.
expanded to different condos and newer condos. But in the beginning, it was just lofts.
Hmm.
So there's only a handful of buildings in the beginning. Now there's hundreds of buildings.
Yeah, for sure. So when you said that people have asked about getting it to New York or San Francisco, have you ever considered expanding to those different areas of the country?
I have considered. I have dabbled with it a few times. It's very hard to focus in too many things at the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
time.
for sure.
It's
Yeah,
just but I have thought, I bought the website names for like San Diego, San Francisco. I think the easiest way would be starting with San Diego because it's so close and it's the same real estate license, and then San Francisco, and then eventually branching out to other states.
for
But I
sure.
think the next one will probably be San Diego. And I did have an agent at some point that wanted to do one there. It takes a lot of your time from the other stuff that you're
I
already
can
doing.
imagine. Yeah,
Yeah, so
definitely. Yeah. So now I'm gonna kind of move into industry trends. So what are some major shifts you're seeing in the Los Angeles market right now? It could be with lofts, condos, or just real estate in general.
well, the market overall is much lower. There's much less buyers because interest rates are so high. Now, the condo market is particularly being affected because high interest rates and HOAs are a bad combination. Like
Hmm.
if you can afford a house that costs 500,000, most likely, if you're really close on your ratios, you're not going to afford a condo that costs 500,000 because you have the HOAs. So some condos, a lot of the condos, especially downtown, have HOAs that are over $1,000. So that messes up your payment affordability, and it's being affected a lot.
Yeah.
There's still, trading. We still sell a lot of lofts and condos, but definitely the high interest rates are a big factor. And then during COVID, there was a huge uh, escape from condos. Everybody wanted outdoor
Yeah.
space. Everybody wanted not to be in an elevator with other people.
Yeah,
So
for
that was
sure.
a big. It did come back from that, but you know, it did affect a lot.
Yeah, definitely. So I know there's been a rise in adaptive reuse projects converting offices into lofts. Have you been a part of that, or do you see that becoming a bigger trend in downtown LA?
I think that's definitely key. In the past, in downtown, we have a lot of historical buildings that were offices and warehouses and remodeling our condos. But now I think we're going to see a lot of newer commercial buildings that are going to be remodeled into offices and into residential, just because a lot of the commercial buildings are sitting empty and they're trading on pennies on the dollar. They can afford it, just to run those buildings is such a huge cost. So I think that's going to happen a lot. I did hear that it's much more expensive to do that than to build the ground up. So that's a
Yeah,
factor that might
yeah.
stop a lot of people from doing it. But I think they might be more flexible on the laws soon. We'll see. With the fires and everything that happened, I think
Hmm.
there's going to be some changes.
Definitely. So you said it's more expensive to actually renovate the office spaces than building new ones completely?
That's what I heard. Because sometimes you have to, first you got to clean up all the lead, all
Yeah,
the asbestos. Then you got to retrofit for earthquakes,
yeah,
and then you got to, these are not residential, so you have to put kitchens and bathrooms, and it's a major job.
yeah. I bet with all the electrical and all the kind of the
Yeah, you have
gas
to basically
stoves
redo
and
the whole building without
yeah,
taking the building down, which is
yeah.
rather,
That seems a little bit more difficult.
yeah.
So
And keeping also the character and the structure, the glamour of the building. That's the selling point for
yeah,
these buildings.
yeah, totally, definitely. Moving into a little bit of artificial intelligence, have you seen that be a factor in the market right now in lofts and condos? And do you think it'll continue to be a factor?
I mean, I don't see much of a factor. I mean, we have a lot of real estate products that use artificial intelligence now, but real estate is such a personal,
Yeah,
people want you to go there and show it to them and personal experience. Like with me, I know every building inside and out. Like I know if they had a lawsuit before. I know if the elevator is slow. I know
yeah, yeah,
when they call me and I said, "Oh, I have this unit on this floor, and this is the number of the unit." I already know where it faces, how the floor plan is. This is the knowledge that you can have just by artificial intelligence. Not yet,
yeah,
maybe in the future,
yeah,
if you can read, but it's just a personal knowledge of being there.
yeah, for sure.
And it's hard to replicate with artificial
Definitely.
intelligence. But
Yeah,
there's things like I love. I can't find anything that does that yet. There is things that are similar, but I love to be like take a picture of the clutter place and say, make this place like totally clean and with nothing. That
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
work like that yet. Like I haven't found a product yet that does that. But that would be amazing. That would save so much time.
yeah. So you're looking at a product that would take a space that has a bunch of stuff everywhere and then clutter it up and kind of organize it. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, just remove all the trash and make it clean so
Yeah,
we can have a nice picture.
yeah,
It's so hard to do. Like there are products that you can erase thing by thing, but not like, hey, just make this. Like there's no just one simple instruction,
yeah,
and that will be done in seconds. That would
yeah,
be
for sure.
amazing.
Yeah, and then would that be like posted on social media and stuff like that,
Yeah, just
on your
advertising
website?
like your pictures.
Yeah,
Like it's basically the place is still the same. It's just you're taking all the little things on top of things and removing them.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that would make it so much easier, definitely.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna kind of move into your future goals with the company. Where do you see Loftway being in the next 6 to 12 months, and where do you want it to be?
Well, we're growing agents now. We just hired 3 new agents. I'm interviewing another one tomorrow. You know, we are limited by the market. There is only so many sales that happen in every year. Unless they build a lot of newer buildings, there is only a number of sales. Like LA is a very weird market. When you look at their rankings on like different agents and different companies on the MLS, and you pick a different area. No agent has more than 5% of an area. Like it's very fragmented. There's so many companies. It's so
Yeah, yeah, I can
there's
imagine.
so many people. So there's few ways you can make money in a brokerage. You can sell more, you can sell a higher price range, and you can have more repeat business. These are the 3 basic ways. And then because we're a boutique, I'm not so big in having hundreds of agents because I prefer to have productive agents.
Yeah,
It takes a lot
definitely.
of my time and attention to manage a bunch of agents.
Yeah,
So I don't want like a company like Keller Williams or Remax. They'll take whoever because they have monthly fees, they have a bunch of stuff that they charge the agents in the back end
yeah,
that kind of support them being there just not doing nothing. Because I think there's some data like the average agent only sells one home a year or something like that. I read
wow.
this many times, which is crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, that is.
So there's a lot of people just taking space in these big companies that are not producing. So my goal is to have actually people that are producing. And my office,
Yeah,
because we're a boutique brokerage, we work more as a team than
mhm,
like we're not competing with each other. Like all my agents can use all my listings for whatever they want.
yeah,
I still the highest selling agent in my company. So, you know, it is a company, but it's more like a big team.
yeah, definitely. And when you're doing those processes and trying to find the right real estate agents for the company, what are you kind of running through with those agents to see if they're a good fit for you and if they're going to get you some productivity?
Well, first of all, we actually don't look for agents. They come to us. So I just decide who I want to hire.
Yeah,
I only once put an ad in the newspaper and look for one agent. That was my agent for a long time because I was looking for someone to do mostly my leases. But we look for people that it is a tough market. So I look for someone that I can tell that it's not going to give up in it for a second because it is competitive and it's hard. And especially with they spend a lot of time downtown.
yeah,
Downtown is a tough market, man. It's rough out there. There's
yeah,
homeless screaming at you, and there's like can't park your car.
Yeah.
People are just like, if you're not used to it, it's like, this is tough. This
Yeah,
is tough.
definitely.
So I look for resilience and somebody that also that I don't need to repeat something like 20 times. I wanted somebody
Yeah,
that is actually smart enough that I can tell that they're catching up at stuff
for
in
sure.
a good pace. One thing I don't like is repeating myself too much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. So, what are some challenges that your company is facing with right now? I can imagine it's got to be something with like maybe the wildfires, or what's going on in the company that has been challenging recently.
Well, honestly, the wildfires do not affect us because it's mostly houses. And some of these people are actually spilling out to us, wanting to mostly rent, but some want to buy. The biggest challenge is the interest rates. The interest rates are the whole key. I mean, the two challenges are interest rates for downtown, especially, is the work from home situation because, then the offices are closed and then there's less people that want to live downtown. So that's a big factor. So I'd say interest rates, offices being closed, and of course, all over town, the homeless situation. It's just
Yeah,
hard to sell $1 million place when you have like a tent right in front of your place,
yeah,
like, and there's no, a guy doing drugs, right, sitting down on the bench in front of the building.
definitely. Yeah,
It's challenging and it's
yeah, I
hard
can
to
totally
solve.
see how that would kind of be hard, and it's almost it's sad. It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's a hard problem to solve.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's kind of out of your hands. Um, so what's next for you personally in the real estate world? You gonna continue to scale Loftway, obviously. Are you doing any other ventures besides that?
I have some other things I'm working on, more like investments. Eventually, I want to phase out, build a little more and then phase out and mostly step out and not sell myself because I still sell a lot myself. So eventually
Hmm.
not sell so much myself and in more invest and manage the company.
Awesome. Yeah, and with those investments, are you looking at personal investments or some rental properties, or what are you thinking?
I prefer development to sell as condos because this is kind of my niche, what I do.
Yeah.
So I think I have a good idea what people like and don't like. Like when I walk into a place, say, what are they thinking? Why did they do this? It's like, this is going to be so hard to sell. Or like, oh, this is so well done, amazing property. So because I've been doing this for so long, I think I have a really good eye for this.
Hmm.
So I like to develop my own projects with that in mind, and because I know what people are looking for.
Yeah, definitely. That
I
sounds
think it
great.
helps a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely having that experience is, yeah, for sure. And moving into so you did join with DPP, and I just learned that you actually left. So what was kind of the reason that you joined in the first place, and then why didn't it work out for you?
Well, I would say it didn't work out. I mean, they gave me an amazing deal. It's a great company. I love those guys. I have nothing bad to say about it. It's just once you've been on your own for a long time, and then you go back into this more like larger company style, even though they're not huge compared to like Keller Williams and these other companies, but they're big. And there's a lot of rules and a lot of things you got to follow. And,
Yeah.
and then you see a little piece of your commission go away, which you're not used to it. So it was just, I felt like, and the reason I joined first was because maybe it's time to just focus on selling, stop dealing with this. There's a lot of extra work to deal with the
Yeah.
office and being a broker and managing agents. Maybe I'll focus on just selling, and then I also had a baby, so it's like my time was
Congratulations.
limited. Thank you. So at the time, my time was more limited. So it's like, maybe this is a good idea. This is a good company. I'll go join. The funny fact is because also is that before I opened Loftway, when I was working for like Keller Williams and these two other big companies, every time I go switch a company, it's like because they told me, oh, we're going to open an office downtown and you wanted to run it. It's going to be great. And none of them opened the office. So one day I was looking for a space for one of my clients, and I found this office where we are now that had been there for, 20 years almost. And I said, well, this would be a great office. So I actually went, and the guys that run the Dizzy Pen and Apartment is Mike Dizzy and George. So I called and I said, hey, I have this space. I want to open the office downtown. You guys want to come with me? They came, they look at the office. They said, We don't want to have the extra expense now. It's just too much. We don't think downtown is there now. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. So then that's how actually I got the office and how it started. But in the beginning, I actually approached them to do it with me. So it's funny that I went full circle and then went back to them and worked with them for like a year.
Yeah, definitely taking that leap, you know.
Yeah.
So now moving forward, what is one of the, I know we talked about the industry challenges. For you guys personally at Loftway, what is one challenge that if you could fix it, the company would run completely smoother?
I mean, it sounds like a systems challenge in my company, or
Yeah,
I
it could be anything from systems, outreach, onboarding agents, anything like that.
have to think about this.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I use a lot of technology, so I think we're versed on. I was even thinking about making my own software, which
Yeah,
is another thing that was taking my time, that I was dabbling with, which because I'm very tech and I love everything about technology. And I use a lot of different tech products in our company. So I think it'll be more like technology, make it something more streamlined that takes less of my attention, and probably AI is going to help with that eventually.
definitely. Yeah,
And then, of course, on the real estate side, title be faster and loans being faster, being able
yeah,
to close faster because it's such a long transaction. Like if you're having a loan, it's like 30 days, 45 days. There's so much room to like change your mind and, things get difficult. You don't want to deal with them. So if it was faster, I think it would has less cancellations at least.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is kind of a stretch, but I kind of am into crypto, and I don't know if you're aware of the coin XRP,
Oh, I
but
have it.
me as well, yeah. But I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on how if you think that's going to affect it because I know XRP is a decentralized bank coin,
Right?
so it sends the money super fast with no charges. Do you see that maybe being implemented in the future, and that would possibly help with the loans being faster, the payments being faster?
I don't know if it's going to help the loan because loan is different. I mean, if somebody's paying cash, then they can pay with
Yeah,
XRP, but it's still getting a loan. So you still have to deal with the bank unless they have banks, crypto banks. I don't know how that would work.
yeah,
But I do have XRP and I'm hoping it
yeah.
goes up.
Me as well.
But yeah, I don't think it would change for loans. Maybe for paying things cash, but then cash you can close in 10 days anyway, or 5 days if you want
Yeah,
to. It's just not
definitely.
the money.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to predict, but I mean, it's pretty cool to see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm hopeful of that one. We'll see.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And then I have one final question for you. I'm getting in some books myself and kind of on personal development, finance, real estate as well. So if there is one book that you would suggest for me to read that's been most impactful for you on your journey, what would that book be?
It's very hard to do like one book
Yeah,
because I think you always get a little thing from each book and you put them together. But if you focus on real estate, the Bible is the Keller Williams book, which is the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It spells out all the steps, what you need to do. And yeah, so that's, if you're in real estate, that's the one.
got it. So it was Millionaire Agent.
Yeah, that's the
Great,
one
by
that
Keller
spells out
Williams.
everything, how to
Awesome.
get there.
Great. Sounds good to me. Thank you very much. Well, that wraps up the questions for me. Thank you again for hopping on the call. I appreciate you for taking the time to talk with me. I appreciate it a lot.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. And it was a great time.
Yeah.